Hello! Travelling around London on trains, buses and tubes often means using a bank contactless card or more likely a traditional blue Oyster card. And if you do use one of these, here's 5 amazing tips which might just save you money. Now you're probably aware that there's a morning peak from 6:30 until 9:30 am and then an evening peak from 4 p.m. until 7 p.m. However, and this is a brilliant trick, did you know that if you make a journey in the evening peak going against the flow, that is going into central London, you actually pay the off-peak fare? For example, if you travel from Zone 6 to Zone 1 in the morning peak on the tube, then that will cost you £5.10 on Oyster. But make the same journey in the evening peak between 4 and 7 p.m. and you only get charged the off-peak fare of £3.10. This works on bank contactless cards too, not just Oyster cards. And whilst we're talking about morning peaks and evening peaks, again with those times aren't exactly as advertised. You do actually get a few minutes grace either side, which may leave you with an opportunity to save money. The exact times for the morning peak are actually 6:35 to 9:27, and for the evening peak it's actually 4:05 to 6:57, which means providing you have an accurate watch, you may be able to get a slightly earlier or slightly later train by just a couple of minutes and pay the off-peak fare instead. Now on Oyster, you get capped once you've made a certain amount of journeys during a day, depending on what zones you travel through. But there's a peak cap if you travel in the morning, and then there's an off-peak cap for the rest of the day. And this means that you can travel in the evening peak, even if you've hit the off-peak cap. So if you've started your day's travel after 9:30 and reached the off-peak cap, you then won't get charged any extra for travelling in the evening peak. This is also brilliant when used in conjunction with our next tip, and that's to use a rail card to get a discount on the off-peak cap. Now another way to save money on Oyster is to get a discount on your off-peak fares. That is, you can get a third off on Oyster if you have a rail card, like a young person's rail card or a senior rail card. Some people don't realise that their existing rail card gives them a discount off of Oyster. Yes, with the 16 to 25 rail card, or the 26 to 31, and also the senior, disabled and HM Forces rail card, you can ask at any tube station and staff will apply a discount to your Oyster card which will get you 1/3 off of all off-peak fares. This means that cheap fare of £1.50 for any tube journey between zones 2 to 6 gets reduced to just £1, an absolute bargain. You can also get the discount if you have an annual gold card, and there's a video here you can watch which explains how some people buy the cheapest possible version of this purely so that they can get the Oyster card discount. And then finally, we've got a tip for those who have a season ticket, as in an annual ticket loaded onto their Oyster card. People tend to think of London as being in zones and maybe don't want to travel out of zone. But with buses, you can go anywhere. That's because buses are zoneless, so if you've got an Oyster travel card that doesn't go all the way out to the edge of London, don't think that you can't use a bus in London's extremities either, because you can. An Oyster travel card, no matter what zone it's valid for, lets you travel on any bus at any time without it costing you anything. And so as my train leaves and departs, those are your 5 main tips, but there are just a few more which I'll splash up on screen now.